As you come into the space, if you wouldn't mind dropping in the chat where you're calling from today or the chapter that you're affiliated with. We would love to know where you're calling from today. So if you'll just drop in the chat. We are here to have a wonderful hour together and to engage. Please know where your react button is, and let's be supporting each other during this call by being interactive through this Zoom as much as we can be, since we're not in person. Great to see you, Mary. Thanks for being here. Guys, as you're coming into the room, we're just dropping where we are calling from or what chapter we are affiliated with in the chat. If you can just drop that in, that would be wonderful. Great to have so many people here on a Monday. We've been trying to do these lunch and learns on Friday, and this is a special hour. We have a lot of people registered. I think it's going to be a really great time. As you're coming in, just drop your city or your chapter affiliation in the chat, and we will be getting started here in just a minute. Wonderful. Julie, nice to see you. Boy, they are calling in from all over the place today. That is one of the beautiful things about Slow Food Durham. Whoop, whoop. I'm in Charlotte. North Carolina. We got Chicago on the line. We got Austin, Texas on the line. We are all around the country. All right. I'm going to do a quick little sort of intro of what we're doing today. Of course, you registered for this event so that you know that we're going to be hearing from Chef Belinda Bishop and celebrating Caribbean Heritage Month, which is our month of awareness, as well as Pride Month. We are trying to do these lunch and learns around our month of awareness. We will be adding additional programming in the next few months that we're really excited about. So we're super stoked that you're here. If you are not a member of Slow Food, I implore you to please join us in membership. This is a very trying time as a country and as a nation. We have a lot of scary things going on, and being around the table to build camaraderie, create resilience in our food system is totally essential. And we really need everyone at the table right now to ensure good, clean, fair food for all. Please do join us in the membership. That's going to be, the link for that is dropped in the chat there. I'm going to turn this over to Adrienne Lipscomb. So Adrienne's been working with us. Chef Adrienne is down in Austin, Texas. I have been so excited to have her on board for the last several months, helping us on programs for Slow Food USA. And she has been putting together great lunch and learn segments. And so I'm going to turn this over to Chef Adrienne so that she can do Belinda's introduction. Chef, thank you for being here today again. I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you for having me.
And you all have a wonderful time. Adrienne, you go ahead and take it away.
Yes. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good day, wherever y'all are. My name is Adrienne Lipscomb. Again, like Chris said, I am in Austin, Texas, and I'm so happy to be able to do this with Belinda because we met not in Grenada or in Texas. We met in Copenhagen at the MAD conference, which was an amazing conference to be at. And I want to do a little introduction, but what I've read on you, Belinda, and you correct me if I am wrong on any of this. So first of all, it's an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
You're the culinary ambassador of Grenada, right? Am I saying Grenada right? Because
you actually are.
And I live, I deal mainly in Spanish, so I want to say Granada, but I was saying Grenada, and I had to like make sure I was saying this right. And I said, you're the founder of the Flavors of Grenada too, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
And, you're a true force in the Caribbean world. You spent over 14 years reimagining Grenada food and food culture, fusing traditional island flavors with a modern technique and championing sustainability and farm to table practices.
That's right.
You're
That's
amazing.
exactly what I do. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody.
and I see that you have cooked for Oprah Winfrey and for the president Bill Clinton. So I'm like 1 degree separated now, y'all. So and you train emerging chefs through the Grenada Culinary Network and Gym Star Scholarship Program. and
That's
currently
right.
you are on the chef's course along with me for the World Central
That's right.
Kitchen.
That's
Um,
right. That's right.
so I'm super excited. I know you also do dining experiences at Belinda's at the Tower of State,
Mhm.
and you represent Grenada on global stages. And you committed to preserving and sharing stories, ingredients, and spirits of the Caribbean area.
That's it. That's everything in a nutshell, basically.
I did
Yes,
my
that's what I do.
homework.
That's right. That's what I see. I see. I see. Very good. Well, it's wonderful to be here, and I'd like to thank everyone for allowing me to be here to just talk about myself and about Caribbean Heritage Month and what's happening here in the Caribbean. Thrilled, like I said, to share a bit about of our rich culinary traditions of Grenada, my personal journey with food, and my work with the World Central Kitchen, as you mentioned. I believe food is more than sustenance, right? It's a powerful way to connect and tell stories and heal. And I look forward to our conversation this afternoon on my lunch break.
Well, I thank you so much for joining us. I like one of the first questions I really want to kick off with, and not a lot of people really understand the Caribbean area, because I find it so interesting, the dialect of our food and our ingredients cross-pollinating with each other. But
Right.
I just want you to see if you can walk us through like the foundation ingredients and techniques that define Grenada's cuisine.
Well, as you know, Grenada is the spice of the Caribbean. I'm not sure if you know that,
I do.
but we are. And Grenadian cuisine is deeply rooted in its rich history, diverse cultural influences, including African, indigenous Caribbean people, of course. A little bit of the European is in there as well as Indian traditions. The key ingredients to our kind of foundation in Grenada for cooking, basically, is the spices, and it's the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the clove, the turmeric, which all are grown locally here and play a real integral part to our flavor profile. So that's pretty much it. We have staples like breadfruit, which I absolutely love. It's my favorite. Yams, sweet potatoes, callaloo, which is very rich in iron, along with a lot of seafood because we have, a lot of lobster, fish, and thanks to our island geography, the techniques such as marinating, we marinate a lot with our local herbs. We do slow cooking like stews, like oil down. That's our national dish. I'm sure you've
Hmm.
heard of that, right? It's a one pot dish. And it has salted meat in it, vegetables, breadfruit, turmeric, coconut milk, and it just gets stewed down in a one pot dish. And it's a very social dish to make, actually. We also do a lot of grilling here as well with that seafood, and all of that's it's fundamental to our culinary identity. Um, these methods have bold flavors. The turmeric is a bold flavor, and of course, it takes patience and a respect for the fresh local ingredients because everything is so fresh. That's what I do here in Grenada pretty much. I focus on a lot of culinary traditional experiences. And so I kind of bring that to the world globally and, of course, locally. So we have a lot of fun.
Well,
Ver-
you answered my second question. So I was like, oh my God, I didn't even have to go into it. But I'm gonna backtrack because you talked about spices, and
Mhm.
I am a spice head. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that. I am also a spice girl. You can call me a spice
Oh,
as well because I love spices. So every time I travel anywhere, it's like one of the first places I want to go to is like a local spice shop. And I am doing research right now on nutmeg.
oh,
And
yes.
yes, and when I tell people, "Oh, do you know nutmeg is can cause hallucinogens?" They
It
they,
can.
they kind of look kind of strange to me. And ironically, I really started doing research because part of the culinary diplomat, I was going to Kuwait and nutmeg's illegal. And it
No.
was, yeah, and I was asked to make a specific dish that needed nutmeg, that needed
Oh,
nutmeg.
my.
But that was specifically one of the reasons why, is that because it can be used to be kind of euphoric.
If,
And
if you use too much of it, of
if you
course.
use too much of it, of course,
Hmm.
right? And there's a little history. There's a couple like 14th century recipes based off of that, like the joy of cookies, which is a nutmeg based cookie. And for the African American culture here, we use nutmeg, or I know I use nutmeg, is to make tea cakes. And
Uh-huh.
it's a high it is it's a lot of nutmeg in the tea cake. And then I realized that's probably why I eat them so much. That's probably why I eat them all, and that's probably why my whole family loves them when we make them. It's because
Well,
the amount of nutmeg that's in the tea cake.
well, nutmeg here is a big thing, right? It's it's on our flag, and hence
Hmm.
I have it on my flag on my head. You'll see it. That's how much we are into nutmeg, and we are the second largest exporters of nutmeg or producers of nutmeg in the world. This little tiny island, do you believe it?
I'm
And
coming to
so,
visit.
yeah, we can make some tea cakes.
Yes.
Uh,
We're talking about spices, but there's also like dishes, right? And I want to know some like lesser known dishes that we would not know about that are
hmm.
just synonymous.
Well, I'm trying to think, what would you not know about?
Ah,
I mean, oh, the oil down, not many people know about that, which I just explained. But it is our national dish. And we use nutmeg a lot in our cakes as well. And even a lot of our sauces, even our little Creole sauce that we make, it's very different than the United States kind of Creole. It's more of a Caribbean French Creole. And so we
mhm.
use nutmeg and the mace that comes from the nutmeg,
Yes.
the little red part. Yeah. I was just in the market yesterday, and I was at this herbalist. He has a lot of different oils, and he had mace oil there, and
Wow.
nutmeg oil, and it's also really good for putting soothing muscles and pain. You'll be
Mm,
surprised. And we only sell it here in Grenada. It's not sold anywhere else, and I guess for the same very reason as you mentioned. Um, it is something that you rub onto your muscles if you have any ache or if you have a headache or something,
right.
and it's amazing, amazing effects on what it does.
There's not enough studies done, and
Yeah.
I like I said, I am a researcher, and
Hmm.
should have brought this book up, and I know it's on my desk somewhere underneath all these other books that literally says nutmeg is a narcotic.
Yeah.
So interesting to read, and it was it was written in the early 1900s. Um, but talking about spices, I also want to talk about like season cycles because I have no understanding of your seasons where you are. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we have two seasons. Where you from? You have four seasons. We have two seasons: hot, hotter. No, but
That's
it's
about right. I'm in Texas, so it's like hot and hotter. Yeah.
yeah, but really, on a serious note, it's rainy season or dry season, and rainy season is what we're in right now, and hence I really would have loved to be out on the farm today, but it was raining. Wanted to be able to show you the farm, but it starts in June, and or I shouldn't say June. That's when it really starts to rain really heavy. But from May all the way to December, and then from
Mm,
December to the beginning of May, that's our dry season. And most people come to Grenada during the dry season,
all right.
but it's also beautiful also during the rainy season because it doesn't rain all day. It just rains and stops, you know?
That sounds a little bit about Copenhagen. It kind of rained and stopped, but we had a little
Yeah.
wind involved in
In the wilderness. It was a little chilly over there. I had to
a.
have a coat. But here, that's why we're called green. We're called greens. It's a very green and rich island. We're a volcanic island, so the soil is amazing.
Yeah.
And things just grow here. You plant a pencil and it will grow out there.
I've never
Yes.
heard that, but I like that. Yeah, that's what I've seen on volcanic islands is just the immense amount of lushness in them.
Yes.
But like I went to another island that's volcanic, is Jeju Island. It's right off Korea, and they really specialize in tangerines and
Ah,
citrus fruit. And they had the black pig, which was also great too in that area. But now we came on here and we're talking about Heritage Month. Could you tell us what it means personally for you as a chef?
well, well, in the Caribbean, heritage is always something that is kind of focused on, it's a celebration of different vibrant cultures, history, resilience, as we mentioned earlier when we first came on. Me personally, it's a time for me to reflect on my roots,
Mm,
and honor my ancestors, and then share the richness of the Caribbean traditions with others. Because a lot of people are from different cultures. They don't know, and they're not in tune. But as a chef, it's an opportunity for me to showcase the diversity of our flavors and our stories that define the region, right?
mm,
And also the reminder of our collective identity, you
yeah.
know.
And how
So
did, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
things celebrating our shared heritages, because you know here in the Caribbean we all are very similar. We're different, but we're similar. So we recognize the unique nuances of each island. It's about pride, remembrance, and inspiring the future generations, because that is important to keep our culinary traditions alive. So that's what I kind of see as Caribbean Heritage Month, and in a nutshell, that's how I feel personally, and as a chef.
I'm gonna say in a nutmeg nutshell. That's what I'm gonna say to that. But also, you kind of dived into my next question, and which was like, how do you preserve and pass on to the future generation, like those culinary traditions, to the younger generation?
Oh, well, for me, for me, for me personally, I think okay. So there's somebody was on mute there.
Oh yeah.
For me personally, that is pretty much what my business focuses on.
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of passing on those traditions to our younger people, and anyone who wants to come through, actually. So my business is culinary experiences, and I use traditional recipes, and I kind of spin it in with modern techniques. And I have a youth camp where I
Mm,
teach young people. It's a farm to table youth camp, so I teach them how to eat properly, and incorporate the recipes in a healthy way, more healthy way, sustainable way. And I also am the founder of the Culinary and Mixology Federation here in Grenada.
okay.
So I sign up a lot of young people to participate. I send them out to different countries, and I provide scholarships and things like that. So uh, I'm trying to really keep it going, because my grandmother left me a list of recipes. It took me a long time to kind of like try to extract it from her, because it's like there's no measurement.
There's no measurement. It's
So
all hands, and if you ask a measurement,
yeah, forget it.
yeah, you're not gonna get
She said it's her handful,
It's her handful, right? And yeah, my
Uh,
grandma, I was like, I have to put my hand up against her hand. I'm like, okay, do we have the same size hand? Because or like you take it from their hand and try to put it in a spoon,
yeah. So
they get irritated.
it took me a long time, but I have a few, and so I kind of passed that along. And as I spend time with a lot of elderly people as well, to kind of just like get the information from them, because if we don't get it, it's going to be lost.
Right, right. And that's
And
kind of what we have here. Is our
yeah.
issue is us along with recipes as well, being very oral or more storytelling on that.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's all visual. I have a thing here with my family is that everything is visual, so you have to be in the kitchen doing it in the kitchen. But
Right.
if you go away, and this has happened often, and you call one of them and you're like, "Is that a teaspoon or a tablespoon?" They'll go, "Hmm, it doesn't seem like you haven't been home enough." And it's a way
Right.
to get you to come back home for
Right.
that recipe.
That's right. That's right. And and they just had a way of doing things, didn't they? I mean, we kind of use, like, for example, I make coconut milk, and I show people here who come to Grenada how to make coconut milk from scratch from the real coconuts. And we're my grandparents had me also grating the coconut by hand,
Mm.
and now I put it in the blender. And so I kind of find the quickest way to do things, but
Right.
still try to keep the authentic recipes. But it takes a lot less time to cook now than it did then.
Yeah.
And as long as you just follow the basics, it's the same. The taste and the flavors are the same. So I took out this swivel stick at one of my experiences, and I said, "Does anybody know what this is?" And everybody was like, "What is that thing?" I don't know if you've seen it. It's just got like 3 prongs. It's a wooden
Yes.
thing. And I said, "Well, that's a swivel stick." Saying, "What do you do with that?" And I was like, "Well, there's a few things you could do with it. You could use it as a back scratcher, whatever. But in cooking, it's an immersion blender." And
Yeah.
everybody understood that. The young people were like, "Oh," because there wasn't much electricity, right? There wasn't
Right.
electricity
Right.
then. So this is what they used, a swivel stick to kind of break down or puree, so to speak, the vegetables to smaller bits.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's like with the
yeah.
little egg beater too. Like
Yes,
I had one, or
that's it.
like my partner's husband was my partner's father was here, and he was like, "You need one of these," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, I have a mixer." Bringing the mixer in. That's like, losing, when you're talking about that, is like not just the tradition, but losing the technique or tools.
Right, right,
Is very interesting to see, because of modern time or technology playing a
yeah, right.
portion of kind of pushing us forward, or pushing us faster, I should say,
That's right.
in the creation of things. I went to Cameroon, and I was just so astonished on the techniques, but also the tools that they use, because it's very similar to a lot of what my great grandmother or my grandmother used, and then
Right.
we can see the updated version over time in technology. Um, and I don't want to lose those tools, or at least the knowledge of those
Right.
tools.
Agreed.
I think that's very important.
Because if we didn't have electricity, right?
Knocking
There
on
you
wood.
go. That's right.
I'm in
All these
Texas.
tools
We
in it.
lost our grid, so let me knock on wood a little bit.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh gosh.
That's what winters, when we get out of that hot and hotter in winter time, that kind of is what happens to us. But where do you see Grenada's cuisines asserting itself and its identity through all kinds of food across the world? Because it's not much well known, like as French food is, right? Or
Mhm.
say Mexican or Japanese. How can Grenada like assert itself to be known, and a larger identity?
Well, I think it goes back again to the spices, right? We have the cinnamon, the allspice, as you know, the nutmeg, and just creating dishes with these particular spices, and adding a freshness to it with the fruit and the mangoes. The cocoa. Cocoa's a big thing here, right? That's
Mm,
one of our. So we've kind of asserted ourselves in that market right there with our cocoa. We have one of the finest cocoas in the world here in Grenada as well. And so we have chocolate. We make a lot of chocolate. We export a lot of cocoa. And so I think this is where I think we can assert ourselves. Um, I mean, we export cocoa to Belgium, that
wow.
and Switzerland and these areas, and they make chocolate, right? So it's the raw cocoa, not the chocolate, but that we
Yeah.
export. So we're kind of stamping our space in the global space within the cocoa industry, and I think that I want to say the spices in the cocoa. Yes, that I have to say that that's where we assert ourselves, and where I think that we're gonna grow globally, and people will get to know a lot about what we have to offer here.
I
Mhm.
definitely want to know more about the cocoa and the chocolate. In fact, it's going to be coming up, but World Chocolate Day is on the 7th, just in case you didn't know, July 7th. And we're going to be talking to a chef from the Virgin Islands about chocolate,
Uh,
the chocolatier. But chocolate is an interest of mine. Honestly, I'm going to tell everybody I don't eat chocolate. But it's a huge interest of mine because of the way you make chocolate, and we'll talk more about that next week. But I do want to have take a time to talk about your relationship with World Central Kitchen and what
oh,
you've done.
that was an amazing experience for me. Um, I had heard about the World Central Kitchen back in Maria days of Maria when Chef Andres kind of went to, I think it was Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
if I'm not correct. And then it just left my mind. And then we recently had a hurricane here. Every 50 years we seem to have one or two, and we had one here called Hurricane Beryl, and I was contacted by the World Central Kitchen to help them to get ready for the food relief for our community. And I was so thrilled to be able to do that. And they were here in, it seemed like 2 minutes.
Oh,
They got here so fast, and they had boots on the ground, so to speak. And we were, and I had a lot of the equipment for them to use. Um, we were pretty devastated up in the north of the island where all our farms are. And so, which is our food source, right?
right.
Here on the island. And so we have three islands. Their sister island is Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and Grenada is the mainland. And they got pretty much destroyed and flattened
Mm.
pretty much. So I helped recruit a lot of the farmers to pick up the produce immediately, almost immediately. And so, because if it stays on the ground,
Right. It's gone.
it's gone. And so we were able to get the farmers to do that and get cooking. They came down with a whole host of engineers and chefs, and they came and we built an outdoor kitchen, and we cooked about 128,000 meals
Wow.
in this week. So a lot of meals, fed a lot of people, and it was great. People were able to get back up on their feet. I was they're still going through it and trying to build up, and the farms are now bounced back,
Mm.
but it's still ongoing. It was last year, July, actually. Next week will be a year exactly.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking, also working with World Central Kitchen, how devastation comes in and how chefs
Right.
come in. So the definitions of chefs are changing, right? And Jose has kind
Mhm.
of helped lead the way of that conversation, especially with connection within your community. What does it mean to serve your community through foods in times of crisis, especially in a Caribbean context?
Well, for getting involved with WCK allowed me to contribute so much to their mission and providing nourishing meals during these emergencies. I felt really fulfilled, whether it's a disaster zone or underserved communities. Um, my work with them volunteering in the kitchen, um, we're able to share recipes, introduce cultural awareness as well globally, and helping distribute the meals gave me such a satisfaction and community because I had to recruit volunteers,
Right.
and in the communities that we were going to, and that helped the community build back, themselves, and utilizing the same people within the community. It was helpful for them because they were also able to you know get the economy going again
Right.
um, by WCK coming on board to join and help us to get back. I mean, it, it was great. It's great to foster community resilience and hope. That's what it was. It was resilience and hope, and giving that to everyone was very fulfilling for me. And my veranda blew off.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's the only thing that happened to me. So I
That's
was grateful. I was grateful, but others were completely destroyed.
mm,
They were pretty much homeless. Schools were destroyed. Um, but as I said, they build back, and they're building back better and stronger than before. So again, I forgot your question. I got kind of carried away.
it's so funny. You are like answering like three of my questions kind
I'm
of
like,
back to
I'm just
back.
talking.
I'm just no, no, no. It's this is what it's about, right? And I don't know. Like I said, we met really quickly. We went shopping together. We saw each other, and and Mad. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about Mad because
Yeah.
it was a very unique situation. So for people that don't know about the Mad feed, it is done by Renee Redzepi from Noma, which is one of the best restaurants in the entire world. And he held a conference, which he just bought back the conference. I think the last one was like 2018, 2017, twenty eighteen,
Yeah.
where he brings world leaders together, about 700 of them from across the world together to describe or to talk about a certain subject of importance. And this one was about built to last, or
Hmm.
and also including craft. I kind of put craft into that as well, as part of that built to last.
Yeah.
Legacy was another big word that came out of
Right.
and sometimes I was kind of like, yeah, this is what we already do. As an African American, as a
Right.
Black person in the culinary field, this is already what we're doing. We've already started talking about legacy and about, preserving recipes and the
Hmm.
resiliency of the world. What did you feel, or how did you feel about that conference, or what did you take away from that
Well,
conference?
there was absolutely everything you just mentioned. I felt like it was a part of my journey, that I was supposed to be there, because this time of my life, that's exactly what I'm focusing on. And
Mm.
I'm focusing on leaving a legacy behind. And how do I do that? Like, I'm just a dot, right? Like, how do I make a difference? And being invited there by the World Central Kitchen to join everyone in the symposium was almost like it was my destiny to be there, to
Mm.
get this information, to come back here and to continue on my journey. Like, I am going in the right direction, building a legacy for myself and my family. Um, I'm not sure if I've told you, but my relative, my cousin is the Prime Minister of Grenada. His name is Morris Bishop.
No, no,
And
no, you didn't tell me.
and and so yeah, well, yeah. And so his journey was about building the economy here in Grenada through two ways: through tourism and sustainability through agriculture. I'm not a politician, don't claim to be, don't want to be, right? But I'm trying to leave the second part of that legacy within what I do, culinary tourism, and utilizing the farm fresh ingredients, to kind of push Grenada as a culinary destination, and building also the communities. He was very social in that respect, building the communities. So when I went to MAD, I thought, wow, this is like exactly where I'm supposed to be at the exact time I'm supposed to be here, to be able to come back here and do exactly that. So I've been actively being involved with a few different projects, and one of them is called 195 and 365, and that's a organization that is going to go to 195 countries in 365 days. And
Whoa.
yes, and we're going to be promoting awareness and building revenue to be able to take care of the climate change things. It's we're gonna start here in the Caribbean, in Grenada, and we're gonna go all the way through South America, and then it's a whole trip. Needless to say, it's a legacy that I will be leaving, and a lot of youth ambassadors and the young people are going to join us on that journey. And I felt that at MAD, it kind of solidified that I am going in the right direction, because I met such great people like yourself. Right. I was so excited. I was just taking everything in, I was just taking everything in. And listening to Yvonne, from Patagonia, I was like, wow,
I know.
amazing.
I stalked that man, so
Oh, I did not know.
yeah, I would. This, he has such an amazing journey, and you could see him in his youth, like the way that he
Yes,
talks.
yes.
So people were talking about the founder of Patagonia, who was also a speaker there, and there was a large conversation, like who was the youngest and who was the eldest there, and the youngest person there was 14, and the eldest person was 87, and that was him, and he was very honest about the way that he got into his business, which he did not want a business, but it turned into a business. But he cared about quality over quantity, and
Mhm.
that even came, when you look at it, that even like referred into his life as well.
Yeah.
When he became a billionaire, that was that quantity, and he, as soon as it was announced, he gave Patagonia away and created a foundation in which all the profits of Patagonia goes to and towards sustainability. And my
Hmm.
just question for him was food. It was like, do invest in food? And in our conversation, no, they don't.
Right.
And
Okay.
and so I kind of like I beelined it to him to have that conversation. I don't even know if I told you that
No.
I beelined over there at lunch to have a conversation with him, and I was in line with about 20 other people that wanted autographs and to shake his hand and be in awe. But my question was about food, and I asked if we could continue this conversation. He doesn't have an email. He doesn't have an email.
Well, that's not surprising.
Yeah, he doesn't have an email, and he doesn't have a cell phone at all. Because I was bold enough to ask if we could continue on phone. And then he gave me his home number, which,
What?
yes, which was like, I have it. I nervously have not called, because he let me know that he will be fly fishing till November. And,
Oh,
he just says, if it rings and I don't answer, I'm fly fishing, and it's really his like quality over quantity, right? His life is
yeah.
over quantity. I want to talk about your personal journey and your vision.
Hmm.
And I want to first know, like, what does it mean to you to hold the culinary ambassador of Grenada, and how did that journey begin?
Wow, that's interesting. How did it begin? It just began. um, I so I came. I'm originally my family is Grenadian. But I was born in America, and I moved back here to Grenada. I say back because this is where my roots stem from, and so I moved back to Grenada about 15 years ago. And I moved back with my dad. He retired back here, and I was able to secure a job with the family, because they're entrepreneurs here. And I started in a dinner theater, this entertainment play complex that my family was building, something new, something that they were building to last. And I was creating different dishes that kind of intrigued people. It wasn't the very traditional things. It was using the traditional things and kind of modernizing them. And so I became kind of famous for doing that, and building, using a lot of the Grenadian spices. So the Grenada Tourism Authority, and I was focusing on, like I said to you, building culinary tourism or food tourism in Grenada. That
Mhm.
was my focus. No one else could get behind it at the time, but slowly, I think I just got on everybody's nerves with it so much, that they said, "Hey, we could bring people to Grenada this way, to visit our beautiful island, because we have amazing food, amazing people, very friendly, great hospitality here." So I just focused on doing that. I kind of got on social media at the beginning of social media, kind of, and just kept pumping out videos on what I was doing, and they became interested. And so I kind of joined partnership with the Grenada Tourism Authority, And I just go around the different islands and in the United States and Europe, kind of promoting Grenada as a destination, as a culinary destination. And so that's kind of how it happened. I was kind of persistent, um, very persistent. And so now I mean, people are coming here just, for food and for spices. And we have a great spice market. And I'm having celebrity chefs come and spend time with me, and we cook together, and we post it, and or we're on I'm on what do you call this, UK television with Phil Vickery and Jane McDonald, and so we got more exposure this way. So more people are coming, more chefs are coming, because it's amazing how many chefs don't know that nutmeg is a fruit that has 3 layers
Yes,
to it.
yes.
Not to
I
mention,
know, I know, but yes.
so 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 now I have chef retreats. I bring them to Grenada, and we tour the island and do these kind of things. We cook together. We pick and we harvest the spices, and then yeah, and they get to a full education about spices.
So not to be selfish, but when's your next one?
Well,
And is
I
my
am
name
so
on the list?
you know your name's on the list, Adrian. You're the number one on the list.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna make those tea cakes when you get here.
I mean, we're definitely gonna do that. I want to know, so we talked about chefs, and I
Mhm.
want to know your collaboration with farmers and fishers and and the local producers in Grenada, and how do you help tell their story on a plate?
Well, that I actually tell their story on a plate and in person. So I have something called a culinary safari here, and I bring together the farmers, the people who come to visit, and the fishermen, all right, in one space. And of course, the chefs, the young chefs that are cooking with me. And we actually go out into the farm with the farmer, and we pick the vegetables that we're going to prepare for lunch. And well, the fisherman shows up with the fish. We stop at the fish market before, but and they also show up at the location with the fish. And then we go to a central outdoor kitchen, no gas, an outdoor kitchen where we cook food, and then we set a feast table all together. The guests, the farmer, the fisherman, and the chef, and we sit down and we do fellowship and we have lunch. And this is how I get to introduce the farmers to you know, people who are interested in the farm table concept, and also the fishermen people get to know where their food comes from. And I
Yeah,
don't know,
that brings
yeah, it's amazing how food tastes so much better when you know exactly where it comes from.
amazing. And especially when, you get that one-on-one contact with that farmer or
That's
that
right.
fisherman, you kind of miss the middleman out of it. And
That's
we
right.
used to host these dinners that were called Farmer to the Table, and
Oh,
where we would host and we would do courses of that specific farmer's,
ah,
produce. And our most popular one was the beef. Was like several courses of beef. But um But it was also so inspiring, especially for the farmer, because the farmer had never tasted their food this way.
that's
And
right.
it brought in a different perspective as well
That's
to
right.
the farmer of understanding how their food is being used in the culinary world.
And you said on the plate, that's a good, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's exactly what happens. Just seasons, right? Obviously, things are seasonal. And so that's when we that's when we really harvest and we eat really differently. When people tell me, what's your menu? Can you send me your menu? I'm like, I don't have a menu. I what's in season at this moment is what I use, or what is ripe and what is ready. So we have different times of the year that we focus on um the items that are in season. For right now, for an example, mangoes are in season. So
I need that.
so so we are using a lot of things with mango, and cherries are in season.
Yeah.
They call them Beijing cherry. It's not your traditional Bing cherry, but so we use that. Cocoa is also in season, so we do a lot of things with cocoa now as well, and of course the spices are always here. And so it kind of it depends on the time of year that you come, that you would have a different experience, because that's how we kind of showed on the plate what's already ready, and at its peak. So Yeah, and I love mangoes too. Here's cocoa. Cocoa's in
I see,
season.
I see that. Oh, yeah. And ironically, I got to go find a cocoa pod this weekend. I know they're out there. I just got to find one. And I think you the papaya behind you as well.
Oh, that's right. Papaya. Yeah, I can't wait to eat that one. It's ready. Yeah, and a pineapple. Pineapple's in season now here too.
It probably smells so fruity, but like all that fruit smell is happening right
That's
there.
that's right.
I'm so completely jealous. So I'm gonna ask you another question, especially I'm gonna ask about your childhood. Like, what food memory from your childhood made you
Well,
realize that you wanted to be a food storyteller, or
well, the
food
funny
was part healing?
that's good question. One of my most vivid memories is my grandmother, right? Her oil down, and I mean, I knew it. No one else knew where I came from. Nobody, or where I was born. Nobody else knew about oil down. But she always would make a an oil down, like I was telling you, with the breadfruit, the salted meat, the vegetables, and it was more than just a meal. It was a symbol of family, community, and resilience, as I said earlier. But growing up, I saw how sharing this particular dish brought people together, especially during challenging times, right? It taught me that food was can carry stories, preserve culture, and serve as a form of healing, even because turmeric is great for inflammation, for example. Coconut
Like,
um, is amazing for your body as well. It taught me that food can carry these stories, like I said, and it's not just about the flavor; it's about relationships, and then of course, as we mentioned earlier, passing down our heritage through generations through food. And so, and in Grenada, that's the other thing, and I'm sure you've heard this story. I mean, my grandmother has a cure for everything. She had
yep.
a cure for everything, and she would just go out
It
into
didn't
the
taste
yard.
good sometimes. It didn't
That's
taste
right.
good.
That's right. But they make you drink it or eat it or
Hmm.
whatever. And so, so when we talk about healing, it is physical healing, yes, but it's also kind of like emotional healing as well. But I mean, if I go outside into the yard right now, I someone just told me this yesterday. I was with the herbalist to pick this what they call a tree. That's the tree of life. A bush of life, or and big time. They call it big time, to put these two things together and drink them every morning to detox yourself. You know,
Mm.
do a little shot glass. And I said I was going to try it today because I need some detoxing.
Well, let me know. Let me know what it comes of it.
Yeah, because I need some to detoxing your liver and to restart restart yourself again,
Right.
and give yourself some energy. And we have also here, which I'm sure you know about, sea moss is very good for you. And we have a lot of that here. I use a lot of
Yes.
that in my cooking and my dressings and so forth. And so when we speak about healing, this is something that I urge everyone to have a try of, because it's amazing. I mean, I actually 90 years old. Look at me.
Oh my goodness. I know I'm booking my ticket right now on kayak to head that way. Or finding me a sponsor to take me that way. You said 90. My goodness. No, I don't even think I've told, see, like our relationship's so new. I mean, I didn't even tell you I went to herbalism school. So yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, so I gotta go
Oh, well,
there.
when you come to Grenada, I'm gonna take you to, I mean, the herb, like I said, the herb band, because that sounds really kind of off, but it's amazing how we got so away from these traditions, and
Right.
we started using I don't know, these pills that the doctors would prescribe. But here in Grenada, and I'm sure the Caribbean and on the continent, the answers are all there. I mean, people live to be what, in their hundreds, hundreds,
Right.
90 years old, like myself, and just living off of the land, and listening
Well,
to
I
the
think
community.
I think like, I it is especially true. That was one reason especially in 2021, where when I came back home, it was one
Mhm.
of the main things that I wanted to learn was about herbalism, and how our food, because everybody was saying food is medicine. But I was saying, as a chef, we need to understand our ingredients and why we're putting them
That's
in our
right.
food, and what goes together and what doesn't go together. But on the obvious of like what these tinctures and bitters do for
Mm.
you. Like literally, I have tinctures and bitters to the left of me, like an herbalist, and all my herbalism books. And my whole well of being was to understand the roots of my culture in herbalism, and African culture into herbalism. So I definitely will be diving your way and having conversations with you and the
Great.
people of Grenada about this, because I believe we need to learn more about this and how we need to take care of the earth and how the earth takes care of us. So sorry, I
Yes.
just got on a soapbox, y'all, about that, but it's very, very important for me. You mentioned a word that I want to dive into, and it's the next generation of Caribbean chefs, especially women, on the islands and abroad. What are your hopes for them?
Ooh,
I know,
well,
big words.
yes. Well, I started, as I told you, I'm 90, and as I started in this industry, in this industry when there wasn't many women who were out there doing what we do, and which is interesting because they always say a woman belongs in the kitchen, but there was never any in the commercial kitchens.
In the professional
Um,
kitchen, right?
no, no, wasn't, and so it was quite a struggle. Now it's a glamorous thing. Now it's glamorous to be a chef, right? Even though we work super hard. So my wish is for us to be able to women, for us to be able to um, really climb to the top, because we're very creative. Women are very creative and they're great managers, and that's what a chef needs to be. You know. Um, because there's chefs who just you have to make money at it. You have to also be creative in trying to make sure that you blend healthy options with practical, obviously things that taste good for people to eat. So I'm hoping that women can step into this role and to be super successful um, at managing hotel operations, big business, and that's hence I'm here. I'm the only female one here in Grenada that's doing it at this level. Um, and I want to teach other young people to be able to step out there, be more confident within themselves. Because if you know Grenadians, they're not as confident. They're very shy people,
Mm.
and so I like for them to step out of themselves, and because they're so talented and have so much to offer, the young people, the young girls here in Grenada, and now they see it as a viable career for them.
Mm.
And
You're a role model.
yeah, they see it, they say, oh, well, I could do that. I mean, they don't have to just be baking cakes, although cakes, pastry they make pretty decent money as well, and they do really well, but they don't have to just be in the pantry, you know what I mean?
Right.
They can be associate, they can run kitchens, because let's say we may manage households, we should be able to manage a kitchen, right?
Right.
Commercial kitchen. So the young ladies, there's so many of them. And matter of fact, my sous chef within my company, she's a woman, and my whole company is run by women. So and I didn't realize that until very recently. Is that funny?
Oh my
Somebody
goodness.
somebody brought it to my attention. I had a young man who worked for us, and he was like, well, I'm around all these women, and I was like, all these women. I didn't even realize that everybody was. I didn't even
We make
realize
the
it.
world go round, in
I,
fact.
I tell you, I didn't realize it. But I think that as a whole, not just women, I think this industry is tremendous, to be able to give back and to also build communities, because we need food for everything, don't we? And
Right.
it brings people together, and even brings presidents together.
Yeah.
It brings entertainers together, it brings families together. And I think that it might be able to establish world peace if we all cook the meals together.
Look, you can't get mad eating fried chicken. I say it all the time.
I
You
said,
can't sit there and get mad at eating fried chicken.
no,
You just can't, you
you
know.
can't. You can't.
Uh,
When it makes you feel good, right? When you feel like you want to just hug somebody if you have a good plate of food.
when you have a good plate of food, like
Yeah,
I believe so. And I mean, we are, like I said, we know each other, but we don't know each other. Like my background is architecture and city planning. So,
right,
going in as a city planner and talking to a community, I found it always so strange to stand in front of people and have a conversation. I was like, can we sit down and do this over food? Like eye to eye contact versus me standing up looking down and you looking up at me. I was like, that's a power move to me. I need to be still with you. I need to
right.
have, I would like to share a plate of food with you to have this conversation about the changes in our world or the changes in our local area. So I definitely get you. I definitely know, and I keep telling you, like, you can't be mad at eating really good fried chicken, right?
No, you
You
can't.
just can't.
You can't. You
Um,
can't.
we are coming down to the end, but I want to
Oh
open it
no.
for questions. I know. We're gonna have to do this once a week with each other, like, and plan my trip. But I have
That's
one
right.
question for you because someone popped it in there, and it was Alexandria. She says, "When is the next retreat?" I asked that question. They're
Well,
asking that question.
well,
They want to know.
we're gonna wait till the rainy season stops, right? And so I want to put one together for November, and then after that one, the next one will be March. So yeah, but I will send out. You can stay tuned into my Instagram. I make sure I have all that information there. It's Chef Belinda Bishop on Instagram. And you can see all the things that I've been talking about that we do also there. And I put all the information there. It's called a culinary wellness retreat.
Oh,
And
so
so
you got
that's what I,
wellness in there.
oh
Okay.
yes,
It's a
because
big thing.
yeah, because food makes you well, right?
Yes, it
You just
sure
said
does. Makes
food
you
is
feel
medicine.
good.
That's right.
Food is medicine. Does anyone else have any questions for Chef Belinda? We went over a lot.
I know, right? It's like, well,
I
I don't
like
know.
keeping it open. And anyone have any questions? I mean, I think my main one is, how often do you come to the US if you do?
Well, I come very often. I will be there Monday. I will be in New York on Monday, and then I'm going to be going down to see Tuesday and Wednesday, and then back to New York, and then I'm flying to Jamaica on the 11th, 11th, yeah, the 11th, back to New York again on the 8th, on the 15th. So yeah, so
Oh,
about 5 or 6 times a year I come.
wow.
I come for the Taste of Tennis, and also I'm part of that grouping. So I'll be there in September. At you, it's usually at Cipriani's. I think it's going to be changing their location this year.
Mhm.
But I'm a big tennis buff as well, so I make sure I come up for that.
Yeah, so when it
Yeah.
just says when you go to US, what public events do you offer in the US? Do you do any collaborations with other chefs in the US?
Let me see. Well, I've connected with Nika Nurse. She's for the best dressed plate, and she kind of incorporates a lot of Caribbean chefs together, and we do different food events in different locations. I did one with her, the Diplomatic Dining Room in the United Nations building, and this last year in Brooklyn at a place called Blue Nook. I'm not sure what's going to be happening. She hasn't reached out for this year yet. I mean, next year yet, but I look forward to coming to do some culinary events with her.
Well, not to be selfish again, I'm gonna make a couple phone calls here in Texas to try to get you to come to
Oh,
Texas.
please, please. I would love to be in Texas. I was there twice. I was in Houston once and Dallas. Dallas? Yeah. Dallas. Save of Dallas, I think it was called. It's a food.
Okay,
I was
okay.
there.
Yeah,
That was
we
a
have
while.
what we're seeing is we are getting a lot of Caribbean restaurants opening up here
Oh,
in Central Texas area. They have one Chopping Block Opie is over in Houston. You have Kanji opening here in Austin. So I am seeing a lot of opening of these restaurants of Caribbean restaurants opening up. So
Yeah.
I'm
Well, it's,
hoping it's like the next new wave that
oh
sticks
yes.
around and throughout the United States, because I think people are finally discovering or opening their palates to different flavors and spices that they uniquely don't see together.
It's our time.
Yeah, it is. It is your time. I want to thank you, Chef, for your incredible journey and your deep wisdom on the powers of flavors. Someone says they want you to come to Louisiana Shreveport specifically for our food forum.
Oh,
Uh,
when is that?
yeah,
I would love to. Always want to go to Louisiana. I went to New Orleans. Fantastic. Oh,
fantastic. Well, we'll make sure if we, ML, if you send us the information, we can definitely make sure you connect
mhm.
with Belinda. I want to thank you again for your powerful flavors and stories of Grenada. Your work reminds us the food is more substance and history, healing, and a way to move forward. If you are inspired with about today's conversation, we do encourage you to get involved with the movement. Consider being a member with Slow Food USA. Your support helps uplift the voices like Chef Belinda and others, preserving culinary traditions, advocacy, and for good, clean, and fair food for all. Thank you all for joining us. Again, I will say this, it's not up yet on social media, but on the 7th, we will be talking about World Chocolate Day. We're going to be talking about chocolate with a demo.
Yeah.
So look forward to seeing that in our social media. We are going to be staying in the islands, so this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yay.
I see that
Mango.
mango. I know. I was about to call you out. You're going to see that mango. Thank you.